Well, hey guys and gals, thanks again for tuning in right here on Hook, Line, and Singer. I'm your host and resident singing fisherman, Bob Sellers. Oh, and wannabe chef. Today, that is, back in the kitchen. We've had a bounty of blueberries this summer. It's just been unbelievable, the amount of blueberries that our bushes had this year. We had a real dry summer, and then we had a lot of berries on, but they were small. And then we got rain just at the right time, and they just plumped up and got huge, and they have been so sweet and delicious this year. I picked all that I could. I picked several gallons, and I've got almost 2 gallons left over, and I've got to do something with them before they ruin. So I'm going to make some blueberry jelly, or I'm going to try to. Hey, stick around and let's see if we can make it work. Okay, so some of the things we're going to need here is a big, large pot. That's what we're going to cook our blueberries in. We've got to render the juice out of these. And once we get them cooked, first I'm gonna put them in that pot, and I'm gonna mash them really good. And then I'm gonna do about 2 to 1, 2 parts blueberries and 1 part water. Just turn it on, let them boil, and let all that juice render out of those berries. And then we're gonna use this. I've got this old-fashioned antique strainer deal here, and we're going to use that to get our juice out of there. You can see that filters, the juice filters through there into there, and we're going to capture that juice. So that's the first step we got to do, is we got to get us some juice so we can make this blueberry jelly. You'll need a measuring cup, obviously. Also, you're going to need some jars and some lids and some rings for canning. I've bought some. I've got a few left that contain the lids and the rings. Also going to need some Sure Gel. I've got to run to the store and get some of that, and I think I may go ahead and get some more or at least some more lids if I can find them. I have plenty of jars. I just don't have lids and rings, or specifically lids like I need. And then obviously the other thing we're going to need is a lot of sugar. Oh, and one little ingredient you might need are fresh blueberries. Now, I watch videos like this, and I see people go to squawking about, oh, you didn't wash your berries. Well, guess what? I'm about to boil them. So isn't that better than washing them? Anyway, these came right out of my backyard. They contain no herbicide, nothing. They've been in the refrigerator now for a week or two. These are as healthy as anything. I'll just grab a couple and pop them. They are so good, just like they are. But we got to boil these now to get all the juice out. Let's get to boiling some berries. So I've got about 4 cups of berries, and I'm going to mash those. Go ahead and do some mashing on them, and then I'm going to add 1 quart of water. So it's going to be a 2 to 1 ratio. 2 to 1, 2 berries to 1 water. So let's add these berries to our pot here. Ooh, that's dark, isn't it? They're in there, I promise. Now I'm going to mash those up some before I add my water. I just have a little potato masher here, and I'm going to use that just to bust these berries up a little bit. I know that's really dark. I'm going to put a light in here. This camera makes it darker than it is in here. I've actually got plenty of light, but it doesn't look like it on camera here. So I'm just going to make sure you can see. I've got a gallon of berries in here. I have mashed those up well, and now I'm going to add a ½ gallon of water. I'm going to turn this on high now and just let it come to a little boil. And then we're going to let these berries simmer for at least 10 or 15 minutes. Just want to get all that juice out of them that you can, because without juice, you can't have jelly. Now hopefully you can see that our berries and our water have, I brought them to a boil and let them simmer there for about 10 minutes. Be careful. In case you didn't know it, blueberries stain really bad. See that wood spoon? Now, we're going to start to get this juice out of here. Okay, thanks to Dollar Generals, I went to Dollar General and found me some cheesecloth. And as you can see, I have lined this with that. And the juice will be collected down there. So I'm going to start pouring some of my berries into this cheesecloth. Try not to make too big of a mess. Buddy, this stuff stains anything it touches. Smells like a blueberry pie. Wonder why. All right, I'm gonna let that do it for right now. Pick this up and I'll show y'all, if I can. Doesn't really how that works. See that, just a steady stream coming out of there. We're just going to let that strain and do its thing. Here's what the berry juice looks like as it's straining. I've got all that collected. Take it out of here because this gets full. It gets up into the funnel there. So just put it in there and let it do its thing. Then I'll take this and twist it a little bit to get just a little bit more of that remainder juice out of there. We're getting juice. That's what we need. Just going to take that and kind of squeeze some of this juice out of here a little bit. I don't want to get too aggressive with this because blueberry seeds can seep through this cheesecloth. I've got about 4 layers, by the way. I think I didn't tell you that. You can see there's still a bit of juice in those berries. We want to get as much of that out as we possibly can. I'm going to gather up all the corners of this and just kind of twist it a little bit. Squeeze that juice out of there. All right, that's probably going to be about it. I don't want to squeeze it much harder and risk getting a lot of those seeds in there. So I have 1 package of original Sure Gel Premium Fruit Pectin. And the instructions on their website calls for 3½ cups of juice, which I have measured out exact and put in this big boiler here. And it says to stir in 1 package of the Sure Gel Pectin. So that's what we're going to do. Do it nice and slow so it doesn't clump too much. Okay, we've got all of that pectin in there. Stir that up, and I'm going to turn on the heat. Turn it up on high. It says bring it to a boil. That doesn't stop bubbling. That's a rolling boil on high heat, stirring constantly, and then stir in the sugar. And we're going to use for this 4 cups of sugar. And we're going to dump all that in there at once. When it comes back to a boil, we're going to let it boil for exactly 1 minute. But we got to stir constantly here. It's kind of an optional thing, but about a half teaspoon or a little pat of butter into this juice will reduce the foaming of it a little bit. Just makes your jelly a little bit prettier. All right, so we're reaching that rolling boil now. It is boiling as I stir, so that is a rolling boil. Now I've got 4 cups of sugar measured out. And I'm just going to add all that into it at once. Stir that in. We're going to let it come to another rolling boil. And once it does, I'm going to let it boil for exactly 1 minute. 1 minute. We're going to pour it into jars that I have prepared for canning. Fill each jar up and then take a damp cloth and wipe around the edges of your lids good, or the edges of the rims of the jar, so that when the lids go on, it's just glass. All right, we've got a rolling boil. I'm going to do a timer for 1 minute. Continue stirring constantly. As soon as this minute is up, we're going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to skim off any foam that I might have on it. "30 seconds. 15. Heat off. All right, 1 minute. Now we remove from the heat. Into our jars we go. And we will have jelly. Okay, so that works out neat. We've got 3 pints out of a cooking, and I have at least 2, maybe 3 more cookings here to go. And we have lids. Take a damp cloth, wipe off any jelly that you may have around the rim here, so that your lid, there's no jelly between your lid and that glass. So that's good right there. Now we've had these lids in boiling water. We're just going to sit a lid on each one, dead center. Going to screw on some bands real tight. It's a little warm. We're going to sit these in a cool place, and once they have cooled off completely, we want to check and make sure that that center is down. So there's our jelly. We made 3 pints out of that first batch, and I've got a couple more batches to go. And like I said, I'm just going to sit there and let that cool and let those lids seal. And that's just as easy as it is. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and you can make some jelly of your own sometime. Concord grapes make some of the best jellies. Strawberry, plums, they make my favorite jelly. Plums, mayhaw, blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, even apple. There's all kind of different jellies and jams that you can make. Peach. You ought to give it a try sometime if you never had. It's really fun, and it's really neat to sit down with a hot buttered biscuit And it's kind of satisfying to open up a jar of jelly that you made from scratch and spread on it and enjoy that goodness. A lot better than just buying it from the grocery store. Look at there, I set one of Will's lights behind this just to show you the clarity of that jelly. Isn't that pretty? That's what that cheesecloth does, strains it out and gets all the seeds and everything out of there, so you just have pure, clear jelly. I can't wait to get some in the refrigerator and give me a hot buttered biscuit and give it a try. Well, I hope you learned a little bit of something from this video, maybe how to make some blueberry jelly. It probably work for just about any type of fruit. Just follow the directions on the back of that Sure Gel package and try it for yourself. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Hey, right here every Monday and every Friday evening at 6 p.m. Central, you can check out a new video right here on Hook, Line, and Singer. I appreciate all your views, your likes. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would appreciate that so very much. Everything that y'all are doing to help our little channel grow, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. May the good Lord bless you. Remember, until next time, I'll catch you later. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.